Hey y'all, welcome to your Homegirl podcast. I'm your host and your homegirl, Katie Patilli, and we're going to chat about what it's like to be a successful female in this crazy world of real estate, or a male that helps empower and support us. So without further ado, let's dive in. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of your Homegirl podcast. I am so excited about my sweet guest today. I've known her for a few years now. We connected over being moms in real estate and are ironically also part of the Moms in Real Estate Facebook group now. But Nikki is local to me here we're actually in Pennsylvania, but from Delaware, where I live personally, has been a licensed agent for 3 years now in Delaware and just now getting into PA.
Yes.
So welcome to the podcast, Nikki. So happy to have you.
So glad to be here, Katie. I'm excited.
So, like I said, we connected over being moms. So you have a 12-year-old boy
Mm-hmm.
you love and adore.
Absolutely.
So how do you balance the real estate life with being a mom?
I think that's for me at least one of the bonuses in real estate is that you can still, have this career that feels meaningful and impactful in your life. Like you're doing something, but you can still make breakfast in the morning, get your kids off on the school bus or, get them home from school and have them involved. Like my son listens in the car sometimes and he's like, they did what? And I'm like, they did. And so it's one of those things where, and it's so weird that you say that. Just the other day I was talking about like, what's my son going to do? He's 12 and I'm sure like all 12-year-olds, you're just like, what's going to happen with this human? Like, how are they going to turn out? And he's like, well, if things don't work out, he can become a real estate agent and I'll have all the contacts set and ready for him to go. So yeah, I think it gives you a lot of freedom and flexibility to create your day and still have time for your kids.
Yeah. So you've been in real estate for 3 years. So what were you doing prior? How did you get into real estate in the first place?
Okay. So, and I saw that I had two friends that were doing it, and during the whole COVID era, houses were selling like crazy, and I was like, "Wow, this could be good." I am ADD. I am a Gemini. I don't like to be bored. I like excitement. I work better under pressure, so I was like, "That'd be great." It definitely works for those sort of things. When you light a fire on under me, then I can get stuff done a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Real estate's definitely like that.
For sure. Absolutely. Definitely takes self-motivation. You're your own boss, which is great, but it also means no one's coming to answer for what you did that day or, all those things. You have to do it on your own.
Yeah.
I think all those traits are great for this type of role for sure. What do you think your best strengths are as a real estate agent?
I think I kind of bring in like weaving together the threads of all of the wild things that not wild, but all the things I've done. I worked in corporate finance. I've traveled a lot. I've worked a lot in sort of natural health and yoga, and I was a meditation teacher and all of those. Like I'm an astrology girl, I bring all of that into it. And so I think I take a grounded approach to the situation. Like I said, I'm a little aggressive, but I'm also very nurturing and I think that that's helpful. I've been in a few transactions where it's like, okay, there's a lot of cooling people off, and I think I can that loving mother nurturing energy that I have. I'm able to use that, and then I'm also a fierce pit bull from the other side.
Yeah. Well, I think as a client, that's the perfect balance of what you want.
Right.
Someone representing you. You want someone that can be aggressive in situations to have your back when, you're not part of those conversations. But you need someone that's also like patient and understanding with what you're going through as, one of the biggest transactions, the biggest transaction of your life. So I think that's the best of both worlds.
And I think for me, I thought about it kind of like, people move a lot more now than they used to. And so it's more common, but I've had some interesting moves personally I bought my first house when I was very young. I got a job for DuPont and we built a house, and my first husband was in the military. And so we did a new build with a VA loan.
Mhm.
And then I had two homes in Brazil, and then I had a home here. And, so I, every time I've done it, I wish I had bought and sold all those houses for myself. But every time I've done it, it's always been like very intense. And I know that feeling. And so when I'm working with clients that are just like on the verge of absolute mental and physical breakdown, because people get to that place, I'm like, I know what you're going through. Like,
Mhm.
I totally understand, and I can truly empathize with the stress and the emotion and all of those things. And like, how can I make this better for you? How can I make this easier for you? Like, what can I take off your plate? How can I show up for you? Because I wished I had somebody like that.
In your
You,
corner.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and I didn't know what I was doing with all the paperwork, all the times I had bought and sold, but, being on the other end now, like, I know how difficult that is. And oftentimes people are moving in interesting life situations like death, divorce, all of these things, and there's so much going on around them that you're like, "Let me make this as easy as possible for them."
Yeah.
Um, and get them the best outcome. And like you said, there are some really great people in real estate, and there are some absolute shitholes. It amazes me too, because I'm just like, I could talk in circles around 90% of the people that, and I'm just like, how is this person out here doing this? Okay, no, there's great agents, don't get me wrong, but I do think there's a lot of I don't know. You have to give part of your heart in a transaction,
Yeah.
and really understand, like, I was anymore, and like just showing up, meet for coffee, like letting someone vent. You don't even have to talk or
Yeah.
say anything, just like being there for someone.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. And I think, obviously you want to get the deal done, and that's a big deal too, but
You
just
can't lose the human
yeah,
aspect of it.
yeah, and I think it does get lost sometimes in real estate.
Yeah.
Mm,
Sure.
and I think that's sad, like you said, it's the biggest transaction of most people's lives,
Yeah.
um, and there's so much that isn't really explained. I've noticed that, like, I'm working with someone right now they're getting ready to sell and buy, and when they bought the house that they were in, they did the same thing. They sold and bought. And when we sat down and went through everything, she's like, I had no idea about
Mm.
any of this. No one explained to me this. Like, we got to the closing table when we bought this house, and we didn't realize we had banked on getting this money that was portioned out for the commission. She's like, no one told us anything about this. It's like a very simple thing. And to us, that sounds insane.
Yeah.
But like, nobody told her.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if things aren't broken down for anyone that's not working in real estate, it's so foreign to them.
Yeah.
And I think some people lose sight of that and
Yes.
gets lost in translation. They assume people understand more than they do. And yeah, you really have to break it down to very basic terms so that people have a good understanding. And I feel like that's your job. That's the right thing to do as the real estate agent, as on the title side, all aspects of the business. Like it's so important.
And
For sure. So it sounds like those are your strengths as an agent. What do you think has been some of the hardest parts?
I think, because it's, go at your own pace, create your own hours and schedule, when you're in these life transitions, like, I just moved to PA. I'm in Kennett Square now. I moved in with my boyfriend, and it's wonderful. That's been great.
Mm.
But that move was big for my son and my 12-year-old, and then my grandmother, who she's here with me too.
Mhm.
And she recently got really sick, and she's on hospice, and she's actually in the other room. And so, like, when things like that happen, it's easier for you to be like, yes, I'm working, but I'm not like going as hard as I want to go, or I'm not creating time or the space to get my newsletter out or to mail things out. And so sometimes that is probably like a weakness for me because I have tons of ideas and I'm always like, oh, I want to do this and I want to, do that. And I need to reach out to this person who we had a conversation about this. And then life just life's on you and you're kind of like, okay, I'll get around to it. But
Like the double-edged sword.
yeah,
Like the perk of being in the business,
yeah,
like have that flexibility, but also it doesn't force you
yeah.
to keep things moving.
And I am like through and through, I'm going to choose my family. Yeah. And so not that it is a weakness, but like it is what it is. Like if my grandmother needs me or my son is sick or like, I need something, I'm like, okay, well, get to that. But that's also kind of why I got into real estate because I wanted to be able to, you know, have a career, but still have a really meaningful, balanced life. And I hear a lot that like agents are like, there's no balance in being a real estate agent. I'm like, well, for you,
Yeah.
not for me.
Yeah.
Because you get to pick and choose. And, some people pick everything and some of us are more selective.
Yeah.
And like, I would rather, um, work hard, have it be a meaningful career, but also like have time for my life and my family. And, not necessarily balance is a weird thing, but like I
I
need
think
both.
that is like always a work in progress. Like,
Yeah.
it's perfected for anybody at any time. There's days where I feel like I have it under control, and there's other days where I'm like, I was great at work today,
Yes.
not so great on the family mom front, or vice versa. So if it's
Yeah,
comes and goes, but
for sure.
it seems like you're doing all in all very well. Your home here that you were sweet enough to invite me into is absolutely stunning. I wish we could give everyone a tour.
Okay.
You definitely have an eye for design, so I'm sure that comes in handy with your real estate career. So,
And my boyfriend is great with it too. So yeah.
best of both worlds.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what are some goals for 2026 that is right around the corner? What would you like to see?
My biggest goal, which you know about, is getting licensed in PA. So now that I'm living here, I'm like, you gotta shit or get off the pot, like get your license. So I think I'm gonna take the test before the end of the year to get licensed in Maryland and PA. And so that's a huge goal for me. And then I'd like to be able to do like more client events. I like to connect with people in person and
Yeah.
the internet's great and social media is wonderful and like it helps to keep you like, abreast of what's happening for people and all that. But like, I like to be face to face. And so, I've been doing an event. I've done two so far, but I'd like to do like two events a year. But just making the business feel authentic to me and doing it in a way that like I have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's what keeps it from feeling like work.
Yeah.
So when you're authentic to you, incorporating the aspects that you genuinely love, and then you're connecting with people that appreciate the same things.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. Well, thank you so much, Nikki. You're a absolute gem. I will make sure. Yes, of course. I will make sure we plug all your social medias so people can find you, connect with you. Again, she's a Delaware realtor, but soon to be PA and Maryland. We're holding her to it. So thank you once again. And thank you all for tuning into another episode of your Homegirl podcast. As a reminder, I am your national title and escrow girl. So if we are not already working together, please reach out so I can be your homegirl too. Thanks, y'all.